Good day folks and welcome back to the channel. We're racing the car today in the Tokyo 600 PP races as the series as we've been doing. Today's car is the Viper GSRT10. This is the car driven by Mr. Gentry and it's the one we're going to be taking to the track. This is the third in this series, a series of Vipers. The first two have just got gradually better and better. The second car absolutely blew me away for just how quick it was, just how capable it was with 600 PP. This one, well, we've got to understand why Mr. Gentry finishes last every time, and there's plenty enough in this to understand why. So let's go take a look at the setup. 600 PP exactly, 537 horsepower, so some 120 horsepower less. Sports hard tyres, suspension's fully customizable, and it is default as per everything I always do. Fully customizable. Differential default, downforce is at 56 and 256. We've had to use that to tune the car. We'd like to have a little bit on the front downforce, but we're not going to get it. We've got a front splitter, side skirts, there's no rear valance available, and it's got a high wing, no roll cage, and we've got tyres that are fitted wide, standard default tyres. I did give this an oil change before we started because I've previously used this, and I had to put a new body on to take off a load of lightning that I put on. Maybe that would help if we did that again. We'd have to see. We would just be taking it lighter to add ballast, which kind of doesn't make sense. But you can move the ballast wherever it goes, I guess, wherever you want it. Transmission, manual, fully customizable. I'm going to push that out to 330. Nitrous none. No turbocharger or supercharger. The air cleaner, none of them. Air cleaner normal, silencer normal, exhaust manifold normal. Racing slotted brakes, racing slotted brake pads. Now we could, I suppose, head over to the engine tuning section and chuck some stuff in. We could put a turbo in. Sorry, it would be a supercharger in this case, and we could take some penalty weight and put it where we wanted to. That would probably be the thing to do. If I was to have the time again, maybe so. But we're going to hit this with the default car and see where it goes. The only thing else we've got is the brake balance controller and the increased body rigidity, nothing else. Shall we see where it goes? As we arrive at the track, let's go straight to the settings for the controller. We're on a G29, we're on max force feedback torque 5, force feedback sensitivity 6. We're on a G29, it's not a particularly fantastic wheel, but if you're on a budget, it's a good enough wheel to win everything in this game to gold. So, assists, traction control 1, default ABS, active stability management on, and counter steer assistance strong. You'll understand why as we get into the race. If you're like me, this is about the best drive for the grind. We need to earn cash, we need to try and get that clean race bonus, we need to win the race, and we need to do it quickly. So we're aiming for a 26 minute or under. If it's just over a 26 at a 27, it still gives us 3 minutes, so we can go for a pee and a drink, purely before we want to run this twice in an hour, and we want to earn 1.5 or more million credits per hour. That's going to make it worthwhile. So let's go and see how this one does. Fuel management, we're going to have that on 1. Brake balance, we're going to push it all the way to the front. I don't use brake balance to tune, we use brake balance to equal out the tyre wear. So we're on sports hards as we discussed. We're going to try and take the drag here off Mr. Gentry. He's our teammate for the day. Let's get over behind Mr. Takeda. Run up the outside, there's the way. Let's get it moving. We need to get this 6 laps of fuel. See if we can slip up the inside of Mr. Konomos. There we go, late on the brakes, but we just lift off on the brakes. Mr. Yamanaka, we got us into 9th place getting up this far. We're going to charge down after Mr. Blazan. Let's put the Supra behind us. So far, no real handling difficulties with the car. It handles really well. Just change down to try and get it to come back in. doesn't have the same roar as the GTS02, but I'm comparing it against the race, not against other cars. We're still hoping to get that clean race bonus, and when we get up the inside of these guys, it starts to make me worry that we're going to have contact, and we don't want contact. Don't hit the walls or the other cars, that is the mantra. Mr. Blazan's going to come through, there he goes. We just decided to wash out wide a little bit. Tyre wear seems good, fuel is good as well. Looks like we're going to get 7 laps in. So no matter what happens, we're going to pit the once, and we also know the other guys are going to, some of the other cars are going to pit twice. Mr. Beauvoir just coming in fine there. We'll see if we can just push Mr. Mirzano back. So the car in front of us and the car behind us we haven't done yet. We haven't done the 911 in front of us yet either. They're going to come up. That AMG is a beauty in green. So opening lap at 2:29. It's not the slowest. Not the slowest car we've had by a long way. No reason for Mr. Gentry to be coming last, is there? So where do we brake? 190. We're going to brake just on the white, on the chevrons. Let the other Supra come around us. So this car's going to definitely make us race that bit more. Keeping it in the higher upper end of the revs, just trying to wring its neck a little bit. The Supra goes wide. Mr. Blazan trying to get up our inside. He's a cheeky beggar. This is definitely a race we're going to be having here. We're in 6th place, 10 seconds back. We're going to have to get a chivvy on if we're going to think about winning this race. Turn on some driving style, I think. Still in the purples. This would anticipate we're going to do around about a 2:15 if we can get it together. Just using the brake pedal there to get the front of the car to turn in. The brake just before the 150 sign. Keep the foot on the brake to make the front end come round. Then use the throttle to make the rear end come round. So 6 seconds inside. Yeah, it looks like a 2:15. So we're not going to have the fastest lap of the race, it doesn't think. We're in 5th place, so Gallo leads by 8.6 seconds in front of us. Mr. Swillow in 2nd, Cookabun 3rd, Hizal 4th. Widdowmaker, that's us in 5th with a 2:14.7. Suswillow has the fastest lap, 2:11.5. Blazan in 6th, Beauvoir 7th, Fraga in 8th. As we exit the tunnel up the hill at 182 mile an hour, we see Mr. Hizal in front. Braking just before the 200. We want to have Mr. Hizal behind us by the end of this lap. That's the target we're setting ourselves. Now the question is, why didn't I load up this car with powerful items and add some weight and drop the power? Well, I don't know. I felt it didn't need to. With its pedigree, it should have some decent power, but this is the 10-cylinder job, isn't it? The SRT10. Mr. Hizal just backing out of it and then coming back stronger. He's hit the wall. He bit off a bit more than he can chew there. We're up to 4th. We're going to set our sights on Mr. Cookabun now. I'd like to be with him before the end of the straight, if that's going to be possible. Tyre wear is really good though. Lower horsepower, isn't it? But definitely feel we're not going to need to change tyres. There we go, a 2:14. Well, Saswillow's in a 2:11.5. We are a long way from that. We've really got to get the fuel load off. What if I was about to do a second video? What if I make this one an hour-long special with 2 tunes? What do you think? If I try and tune this with loads of horsepower items and see what we can do, because I never want to post a video without a win, and at this moment in time this one looks like it's going to be a struggler. 12 seconds back. Not forgetting the guy that's going to win this race, Mr. Gallo or Mr. Cookabun, whichever one it's going to be. Saswillow is actually up there and fighting for it, so genuinely it could be any one of those 3 at the front. One of them's going to pit twice, the other 2 aren't, so we've got to stay within pretty much touching distance of those 2 guys. There's Mr. Cookabun now. This is a bit of a nail biter for me. I do think every car in this race is capable of winning it. We're going to get 3 more laps out of this, so we're going to pit after lap 7 by the looks of it. That means we'll be stationary less amount of time and we'll be lighter on fuel, so we should be able to put in some quicker laps. We are 14 seconds away from the front. Mr. Gallo is starting to put the time in. That was a 2:13.1, so 0.9 quicker than our previous fastest. Let's see if we can catch Cookabun. I don't think we'll catch him by the end of the straight. We haven't got the overspeed, which is a massive disadvantage in this car. We're on lap 5. We're in 4th place. We are improving our PB, so it's not a bad thing. So we're with Cookabun now. There's the opportunity to get him caught and get up to... Ooh, touch the wall. Put herself in 3rd place. We're actually making progress on Mr. Gallo. We've took a 1.5 seconds out of him so far. See if we take a tighter line. We can't. We've just touched his rear end. Mr. Gallo goes to the pits, so we'll see the real difference now. We're some 10 seconds behind Mr. Suswillow. We've got a long way to go to make up this deficit. There goes the overspeed that we get from the slipstream. So that's Coupe behind us. We are 10.2 seconds back. We are chasing Mr. Suswillow now. We've got 6 laps to make up 10 seconds. I could probably brake a little bit later than we did there. She's actually very forgiving. Mr. Gallo goes and puts in a 2:09.397. That was a decent lap, wasn't it? But he did he do that on his pit-in lap again? That's pretty impressive. That they take a pit-in lap as a lap time. I don't know, we'll have to check that. I don't know how we're going to check it. Let's see if we can just get this car to flow. We're up almost a second on our fastest lap. You know, there's probably a title for this car if we can get him to win it. There's Mr. Suswillow ahead. We've got the gap down to 5.8 seconds. The last 2 laps were 2-minute 13s. Mr. Coupe is just falling away now, 2.7 seconds back. This should put us in a 2:12. Then we're going to do one more lap. This will be the in lap. I don't know if Mr. Suswillow is going to the pits. Yes, he is. So that will give us the opportunity to lead the race. He's on medium tyres, down to 14%. So he's going to fill up and go all the way to the end, just like we are. We're going to attempt the overcut. We're going to run longer and attempt to stop for less. We're not going to change tyres. We're going to try and use that as an opportunity to gain on him. I'm just bouncing the brake pedal, trying to lengthen the braking out. 2.84 lead over Mr. Coupe. Hezal third, Fraga fourth. Blazan in 5th place. Gallo in 6th after his pit stop. Mr. Miazano in 7th. Suswillow in 8th after his pit stop. We're just a 10th down. We're not changing tyres. We're going to save whatever time it takes to change tyres and use that, because we need to try and get ahead of Mr. Suswillow, because he's not going to stop again. Oh, we didn't need the bounce against the wall. That was unnecessary. We just lost that advantage we had on time. We need to be trying to be quick through here when we're light on fuel. We've got plenty of fuel to get to the end of the lap. We've pulled out another 3 seconds on Mr. Coupe, it would seem. Braking on the 1.650, probably about the 1.55. We don't want to go too deep. We want to get this turned quickly. There we go. Use the back end of the car. Use the power to bring it round. This would be a fastest lap. This would take us down to a 2:11, which puts this in a relatively decent range, but it's not a 2:10. I'd like to see a 2:10 from this before the race is over. It's been progressively getting quicker into the pits, not changing tyres, and we're going to take 5.2 laps of fuel. Coupe's going to go through and take us. No, he's coming to the pits. It's a great skin, thank you JB. That's GTP Addictions. This is a skin from some time ago, 5.2. There we go, and everybody else has stopped, so the man we're racing now, Mr. Gallo, there he goes, he's got a pit stop again. The next car coming is Mr. Suswillow, but Cookabun has made it out the pit, so he's going to be in front of him as well. That gives us the opportunity. Maybe the later pit stop did help. We're 3.9 seconds ahead of Cookabun, so he had a quicker stop than we did. We're going to stop on the just before the 150. Then we're going to chase Gallo down, the man who holds the fastest lap at 2:09.397. I don't see this car getting it, but I do see him having a good chance at winning this now we're in front. We just got to do that little bit of chasing. These tyres are going to hold together, it definitely seems. And we're catching him, 2.8, he's only ahead now. He'll be telling his pits that he either doesn't want to pit or he wants an extremely quick pit stop. Depends how much fuel he's got. Can he make it all to the end? Can he make those tyres last? Will he, or will he have to bail and go to the pits? Is he on a predefined strategy, or could he flip it up? We don't get a time at this point because we're on our out lap. Is he going to the pits this time in? It looks like he's going past. He has. So we get to chase him on down. He's just pulling out his lead. He's now 2.93 ahead of us. Here we go. Starting on the time lapse again. 4 laps to go. 9, 10, 11, 12. 4 laps. He's just eking out that lead. We're getting ahead of Cookabun, just pulling out 3.3 seconds. We're going to break just on the 200, I believe. Going to stay in the chevrons. Really nice, it drives really well as he touches the wall. Very controllable, you can just point it and it goes where you want to. Little lift of the throttle will encourage it to come round that little bit more. This corner is interesting, use of brake, back on the throttle, off the throttle. Just touch the wall with a little bit of rub and we're catching Mr. Gallo. Will he be pitting this time round? You would expect him to. We're still slower than our fastest lap, but we are on heavier fuel, so. And the tyres are just that little bit more worn in. .6 seconds ahead of Mr. Cookabun. Braking just on the 160. All the help aids helping there as we boot it out that corner. 1.6 seconds back. We've been able to chew into his lead. He's now got to go to the pits. He's hanging on the white line. Let's see him go. He doesn't. He carries on again. We're going to have to chase this boy down, aren't we? It looks like he's given up on the pitting for the day. It looks like we're going to have to chase him. That was a 2:12. So that's improved our personal best. A 2:12.434. Brake on the 200. We're never really concerned about running through the puddles. We always if they're where we want to be, we'll run through them because we're on decent enough tyres to tackle it. She's driving really well. Mr. Gallo in first place. He's less than a second ahead of us now. The car's singing. We're just going to ease up. We're just going to check up here. Now we're going to try and make the pass. He's sliding his tyres just a little bit. He's on the medium, so we'd anticipate him to be quicker through the corners, but it depends whether he's got them on the edge. He was supposed to have pitted by now. Will he pit this lap? We're just going to take a slightly different line than him, just in case he brakes awkwardly. He slides it. We're going to come up his inside. No, we're not. He's going to stop us. He has better traction away than we do, but he's just half a second ahead. We've had to check up and hold it. He's going to take the same line. He's going to run the white line. Is he going straight on? Is he pitting? He's going to the pits. We're going to take the draft as much as we can. There we go. So he's left us to go ahead. Where are we in terms of Gallo? Cookabun is the car behind now. 5.1 seconds. The pressure's on. Gallo's just taken a smidge of fuel and he's away. He's out of the pits and coming again. But as far as we know, our battle now is with Cookabun. As the Yamanaka goes to the pits. Use third gear to really drive it out the corner. So, in review then, let's talk about what we've got. Counting chickens before the eggs, because we're talking about it as though it's going to win the race and we haven't even won it yet. It's such a tight race actually. It's tighter than I thought it would be. I didn't think we'd get this close, but 6.5 seconds ahead. This car is just on the 600 pp mark. It is 540 horsepower. It's running the hard tyres. It's not running much in the way of upgrades. It's a pretty standard car other than the suspension, etc. But it's not really played with. So we'll take stock of where this car's going to be as it goes over the line. We know its fastest lap isn't going to be massively improved on where it is now. So a 2:12 as a fastest lap will really be quite a good fastest lap to get the win, but it won't be up there in terms of, if you had a league table, it won't be the fastest, it won't be the most standout car to go and drive, but I tell you what, it's doing enough to win it, and this puts Mr. Gentry really to shame, doesn't it? However, as we come round onto the final lap, we're 7.3 seconds ahead of Mr. Cookabun. I'd be interested to know where Mr. Gallo is, whether he's really far back or whether he's on the back door, on the tail of Mr. Cookabun. I would suggest he's quite far back. Use third gear to drive it out the corner. Just brush the wall with the tail of the car. Gallo's going to get the fastest lap. We know that. He put that lap in earlier on and hasn't really been able to make more of that. But we're going to improve our PB if we carry on this final lap. It'd be nice to do. I want positives to this car because it's still pretty decent. It's just a shame that we didn't have that escalating, you know, betterness, what a word's that? Increasing performance of the cars as we went through their history. But it just so happens the slowest of the three is in the race in the standard trim, and that brings us to the next part of this video, which you're going to see fairly shortly, but we're going to try and give this a tune to make it the ultimate horsepower muncher. See if we can get it up there. We've got a bit of fuel we can consume, and we've also got tyres, because these tyres last beautifully. Not even half done. As we take the final corner, some 10 seconds it ticks round. 10 seconds faster than Mr. Cookabun before we go across the line. Mr. Gallo still in third place. Suswillow, who we were chasing down, in fourth. Fraga fifth. Blasen sixth. Beauvoir in seventh, and Mr. Grady in eighth. We've got plenty of fuel as we charge down towards the line. Are we going to improve that fastest lap time? I think we did. It looked like a 12.1 to me, which not too bad for the car. And there she is. So, Mr. Gallo with the fastest lap. That was a 27.21. And I think that'll be the slowest car we've won with. But not to its detriment. You hear those final words, that we won with. It was enough to do it. There she is. Do we get the clean? Yes, we do get the clean race bonus. So it's another tick in the box. And there she is. Takes us to over 25 million. We'll see you very shortly, folks. So as promised, folks, we were coming back to this race with something with a little bit more of a tune, a little bit more power, a little bit more get up and go. We want this to feel something like the Viper GTS02 did. Not like what we got in that last 30 minutes. So let's take a look at the new settings. Sports hard, PP at 599.99. However, we're now running 632 brake horsepower. Fully customizable suspension and differential exactly the same, no change. Downforce at 56,253. We've changed nothing in the setup of the car. This is the only bit you need to make a change on. Ballast at 100 kilos, set to 44 to the rear. You'll see it's a bit glitchy, this. At certain points when you do the weight movement, you'll be 6 pp over the balance. You move it one more thing and you're underneath. Power restrictor at 97, so we've almost got all of the power. And we've got the gearbox at 330 still on the manual transmission. No intercooler, no supercharger. Air cleaner racing, silencer racing, exhaust manifold racing. We've got the same brake setup and brake controller. We've got the brake controller set all the way to the rear, it says there. But I'm going to move that all the way to the front. We've got racing clutch. We haven't put the prop shaft on, but it's there to be done if you want to. Just add some weight or take some power out. But then we've got bore up, engine balance tuning, polished ports, racing crankshafts, high compression pistons, and increased body rigidity. Do you want to know how faster this bad boy goes? I know you do. Settings exactly the same. Let's go straight to the race, folks. So, fuel strategy. We're just going to stop once on lap 6, and she's noisy. That's what we want to hear. There's Mr. Gentry. That gearbox sounds sharp, doesn't it? We're actually starting to move past the crowd. That fuel limit's coming up. We need that to come up some more. Let's get past Mr. Kornamos. Up into 6th gear, crash the hill. This thing is moving so much better than it did last time around. I'm going to brake just after this puddle. Just watch out for Mr. Blazan. We're still going to try and get that clean race bonus. We're not going to bully anybody out the way just yet. So we're up to 7th. It sounds good. It feels good. Fuel's up to 6. That gear change is crisp and clean. We can hear it clunking in. We're not on the racing box, we're on the manual. Just keep it nice and tidy. It feels better. Ooh. They broke a little bit harder than we wanted to then. Don't really want to go around the outside, but if that's all he's leaving us. Mr. Blazan just let us come round the outside. Mr. Suswillow, we chased you down last time, didn't we? Don't really want to make the pass here. I'm going to back out of it. Oh, don't want to keep my nose in. We're good. Queue of 5 cars. One sudden braking manoeuvre, we're in trouble, and we get hit. Mr. Blazan, how rude. That means, well, our relationship is over, dude. 200, that's where we're braking. We're going to make some mincemeat of these boys down this start-finish straight. We haven't seen Mr. Beauvoir, we've left him in our dust. So, is this 200 mile an hour capable? What's our opening lap time going to be? It's going to be relatively slow because we've been following these boys and getting racked by Mr. Beauvoir, Mr. Blazan, sorry. So that's Suswillow gone. Looks like we're going to go 3 wide. Past the Supra, up into second place by the end of lap 1. We did a 2:25, Gallo did a 2:21. And we're going to see what speed we can get to. It's going to be sub 200. It's going to be plus 200. Is it? We've got to brake. No, it's just 199 when we braked. She's a mover and a shaker. So to conclude, before we go anywhere, add the weight, take the power out, add the mods. That's what you need to do. You'll put a smile on your face like I've got on mine now. This is a great little car. What do we think our opening lap's going to be? Our fastest lap to open the race up, something like a 2:12, or do you think it'll be a 2:15? Where do you think we can get? 2:10? 8.75 seconds faster. Any car that goes down to second gear there is going to be... Oh, we don't want to slide too wide. We did. That's definitely the clean race bonus gone. And we've lost probably a good second on the time we were doing. Brake on the 200, maybe just after. I just braked down to 50% just then. Oh, it sounds lovely. Still 8.5 seconds quicker. That'll make this a 2:13. We're going to give it all the horses. Top gear before the line. There's a 2:13.025. That's a pretty decent outlap. I know it's not the full outlap, it's lap 2, but there we have it. Chased him down. Are we going to get 200 yet? Doesn't look like it. I really want to lap Mr. Gentry in this car. Just to let him know he's not driving the real thing. This is the real thing. As you know, folks, my tunes aren't anything much, but what they are is a quick approach to tuning. This default setups, they handle okay with the extras, the assists. You don't have to mess about, and you don't have to go hunting for absolutely, I'll use the phrase, balls to the wall setups that somebody's tinkered with and played with for hours. You don't need to. You can enjoy this game without having to do all that. If you get hung up and dog-tied by the fact you can't be fast, you can be fast. Play the game, enjoy it. And I have a moan about that, a bit of a rant, because some people I'm playing the game with at the minute are really getting annoyed with themselves for not being fast. You can get fast, just play the game. We're 2 seconds quicker. That'll be a 2:11. Now we need to get up with Gallo because he can run a 2:09. But we did hang on and we delayed overtaking Mr. Gallo. We didn't push past him when we probably could have. There's a 2:10.7. We're now going to use his slipstream. We're going to go past him. And hopefully we're not going to see him again in the race. We're gonna have a good old charge to the end of the race now. There's the 200 for the first time. We probably brake just a little bit later than I'd want to at that point. So we're still not running a supercharger. This is NA still. And it sounds lovely, that growl, just what we want to hear. Little lift on the throttle to get the back end to come round. It's all about at certain points, it's just being smooth and letting the car run. Now, do you think we need to take tyres at the pit stop? Oh, we're bumping walls, that's not good. I think we should take the tyres because we'll be faster with the new tyres, I think. We're only 2.5 seconds ahead of Mr. Gallo at this point. This won't be anywhere near fastest lap. Oh my, that'd be a 2:10 dead. A 2:10.1. If we can tip a 2:9, that would be tremendous, because that'll set us a challenge for lap 5. Then we'll pit on lap 6. There's a 2:10.1 as expected. Let's see if we can just beat that. We're 3.9 seconds ahead of Mr. Gallo. Will he go to the pits? I don't think he has. No, he hasn't. He's come with us. Everybody's charging away. We've stretched that lead out now almost the full length of the whole straight. Every car is on the straight. As we turn off it, the last one comes on. Just concentrating a little bit to try and put in a decent lap time. Keeping it buried. For what it takes to change the tyres, I think I'm going to, even though they're looking really good. Downforce from the front wing is pretty good. Let's see if we can just hold it. There we go. We had to brake excessively there, but let's see where we get as we come along across the final timing line. I didn't look up, I didn't check it, but we're 6.5 seconds ahead of Gallo at this point. Came in there rather quickly. Let's get it round. We're 1/10 down, so we won't get a 2:09 this side of the pits. I think the tyres need changing. We won't get another lap in. 10.3, not the best we could have done. So, final lap before we pit in. Gallo's gone to the pits now. We're 7.9 seconds ahead. I'm hoping this car is going to be some 30 seconds faster over the race distance than it was pre the mod. Yeah, we've got the brake balance all the way to the front, haven't we, which is taking the stress off the rear tyres. Half a second down. We should be quicker. She's controllable, but it's just driver. That's all it is. Missed the turning point. Bump. And again, down to the driver, not the car. 1.25 down, 17-second lead over Suswillow. That was a better line through there. Yeah, rear tyres definitely did change. That confirms what we're going to do. And you should be able to tell, folks, I don't really run these races before I give you them. I run a couple of test laps, make sure she'll make 6 laps if she needs to, and then we give it the beans and we show you what it can do. If it was uncontrollable, I'd keep working on the setup, but as it is, she's pretty decent. In we go to the pits then, full ball. We're going to take the hards and we're going to fuel up. Cheers. Look at the size of those tyres. So we're going to 6.2 laps. We're 20 seconds ahead of Suswillow. There we go, 6.2. So we're behind Izal and Kukabun. We know they're pitting lap next time round. There goes Fraga. So we're not as rapido as we thought we'd be. Beauvoir is coming. Be nice to see Beauvoir again. We haven't seen him in the race yet. Gonna brake on the 200. All that torque in that third gear. Just put a little bit of a red into those rear tyres already. We're going to get that 209 this time. We've got the fastest lap of the race. I'm just wondering if Gallo's actually going to go out and do something. He's just in 8th place. I wonder if he's going to go and set an absolute blinder. I'd anticipate these guys all going to the pits this time round. That felt good through there. Lesser fuel weight. Five seconds behind the leader as Mr. Hazel brakes going towards the pits. Kuckerman's gone in the pits. Fraga's gone in the pits, so this is our natural lead now ahead of Beauvoir, but I anticipate him going to the pits. Yep, Blazan goes to the pits, Biazano goes to the pits, and that leaves the way open for Gallo, who is 12 seconds behind. Going to brake just before the 225, just after we've done 200 mile an hour, which is absolutely insane in this thing. So before we go any further, which one do we think is the better setup then? Hey, we know which one it is. But the aim of this video is just to give you the comparison of taking the next step. You can tune to 600 pp. Will you have the fast car? No. There's more to give a car. You can add weight, you can take power away, and you can still have a faster car. We've got more torque, we've got more brake horsepower. We're probably worse fuel consumption, but we're so much quicker. We've got the weight in the right place over the rear wheels. I haven't been looking at the time, so I don't anticipate I know whether we're anywhere near that 2:10.1, which is actually a 2:10.2 if you look at the timing, to be honest. I do like the gearbox clunk. Oh, we're 0.2 up. This could be a 209, the 209 we were searching for. A better driver could probably do better. We've got 9, 10, 11 and 12. 4 laps to go. Fuel is at 4.1. We're going to be good for fuel. There's a 209.779. And we could hopefully go faster. We'll just have to see where it goes. 200, we're going to brake just all 4 wheels on the chevrons. No touchy wall. We're pretty sure we haven't got the clean race bonus, having been hit by the AI in the early part of the race. So again, you can go and get that clean race bonus. Some people could drive the first couple of laps on a different fuel setting, save a bit of fuel, race it on fuel map 3 for a little bit, then put in a couple faster laps and do a no stopper. That's a trade-off. We're faster, not massively more, but we are faster. The steering wheel just fought back and I've just pulled my thumb, I think. Oof. And that's a G29. No direct drive. She hit the rev limiter then, didn't she? She's growling. 2/10 up. This could be a 209.5. 3 laps to go. Fuel's looking okay. Just. (3-1). We're good. That's a 209.6. Happy days. See if we can take off another 2/10. We're aiming for this car to be a 26er, a sub 27. That would be nice. 19 seconds ahead of Mr. Gallo. Probably don't need to hammer the third gear so much. The torque in the higher gears is giving wheel spin, so the car is hesitant. Just letting the car run and flow at this point. Just touch the wall, hopefully for no loss of speed. We're cut in tight there. We're still up by nearly half a second. We can make up time here, we know we can. "22 seconds in the lead, we're pushing. Felt slow round there, we didn't get it to turn very well. We're still up by quarter. That's at 2:09.5 then, one would hope. On lap 11 we're going to try and get this thing to turn round that final hairpin. Probably going to come in with a bit more speed so I can stay on the brakes. There's a 2:09.3, a 2:08 possible. 2 laps to go, 22:40 on the clock, 22:30. It looks like there's a possibility that we can be a sub 27, which would be fab. There's a word we haven't used in a while. I'm not going to go to third gear just yet. Gallo's gone to the pits for the second time. We're now 31 seconds in the lead. I don't know if we're going to be in a position to lap anybody. I don't think we're going to be that fast. It would be nice. We're a little bit red at that point. We might lend Mr. Gentry this car. We missed the turning in point. We're good. We didn't hit the wall. We've certainly hammered the front tyres harder this race. Harder this half, sorry, of the half of the race. That front left is wearing up. I've just seen Mr. Gentry. He's just made the hairpin. We're going to see him come that way. Going to brake just past the 200. Want to come in on the brakes, and we are on the brakes there, and the front end comes round. A straighter exit. 0.3 down. Not what we wanted, but we do have the fastest lap of the race now at 2:09.370. We got that last lap, and I think we've held the fastest lap all the way through. But let's see if we can catch Mr. Gentry before the end of the race. He's a long way up. Don't know, we'll see. There's a possibility that we are going to be a sub 27, and this makes this a pretty decent car. So Mr. Gentry has no excuses. We're now 35 seconds in the lead. Gallo nowhere near the front. He's just disappeared round that corner. I'd like to catch him before the end of the race. There we go, purple by 0.2. Got to make this thing turn in. The outside tyres are just giving it a scream. I'm pushing, pushing, pushing. We got it to turn in that time. There he is. We've lost time. Where are we going to go? It's a fantastic driving car. I really enjoy this one. Able to push, it's quite recoverable. When it starts to slide, you know it's going to go. Just 0.2 down, so we're not going to make that 208. But I'm chasing that sub 27. Fuel wise, how are we going to do? Don't forget we can go to 0-0 and hit the line. We're at 0-0 now. We're through the line though, so you don't run out until the end of the 0. And there she is. Absolutely excellent. I really enjoyed that. If you can't tell from the smile on my face, the commentary went to pot. It was all about doing the next bit, but there she is. Absolute stunner. And that comes to the end. Our little series on the Vipers. We've proved that Mr. Gentry's slow. We got the fastest lap at 209.370, and there she is, a sub 27, a 26.54, ahead of Mr. Cookabun in the Amimia. Absolutely happy with that. We got the race bonus. So happy days. That makes things even better. This car, for what it's worth, comes to the near the top of the list for my favourite grind car. I've never been into the Vipers until these races. So there she is, clean race bonus. Happy days, everyone's winner. And with that, folks, this brings it to a conclusion for today. And hopefully the double edition is something you'll enjoy and you'll benefit from as we charge down the straight in car. We'd like to wish you all the best, coach. Take care. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you.